Ladies, this is a highly requested video you girls asked me to do on dealing with stress and ways that I cope with stress and have dealt with stress over this last, especially year and a half, as a busy mom with 4 kids. And if this is your first time watching me, I'm Natasha, and I actually lost my husband last year to cancer. So since then, I have spent a lot of time and energy developing myself and developing just simple strategies, but effective strategies that have really helped me with my overall wellness, stress, energy, just my overall fitness and everything. And my whole goal with every video I do is to simplify things for really busy women. So one thing you girls really wanted me to talk about was stress. So I've already done, my first part of the video was on weight loss and hormone balance and metabolism and just really simplifying that process for you. So this is the second part that you girls wanted me to talk about, and that is on stress management. So I'm gonna keep it really simple for you. I'm gonna break it down to 5 simple things that I do pretty much every single day, and I've done it for the last year and a half, and I have found it to be super effective for just redeveloping my life and just dealing with 4 little kids and just keeping myself in a really great place. Like honestly, right now I'm happier than ever before. I love my life, but it didn't start off that way. A year and a half ago, my husband passed away from colorectal cancer. And at 33 years old, I was left with 4 little kids. My youngest daughter was 3, and my oldest was 8. So I had 4 kids in 5 years. So you could just imagine how traumatic it was. It was a very traumatic experience, to say the least. And I had anxiety so bad that I had just pains in my body. I had like pain on my side for so long, probably for a couple of years, just dealing with the anxiety of stress, the anxiety and stress of going through that with him, and then him passing away. And then all of a sudden my world has like been turned upside down. And you know, I still have to work, I still have to provide for my family, and you're dealing with all these emotions. It was so intense. My hair was thinning, my face was like all sunken in. Everyone's like, oh, you look so great now. I'm like, this is not how I looked a year and a half ago. So, but I have to say, I love what has come out of it though. And you know, I'm a perfect example of no matter what you're going through right now or what you have gone through, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you can turn, you know, the direction around and really enjoy your life. So I hope that the strategies I share with you, you know, they might not all be for you, but maybe there's even one thing that you can implement into your day, and I really hope that it does make a difference for stress. I think you girls already know why stress is not good. It's, you know, awful for the immune system. It, you know, just as an example, my husband was super stressed out for a lot of reasons, and I saw the effect that it had on his immune system. I saw that effect on him, and I really do believe that it caused things to progress a lot faster for him. And so after he passed away, I was so determined not to live in a place of stress every single day, because I just saw the damage that it does firsthand. So, and also I wanted to enjoy my life. I was only 33 years old and I had 4 little kids. I'm like, I don't want my kids to grow up with a mom that's miserable. You know, that's not fair to them. They just lost their dad too. Now, if their mom is like completely immobilized by depression or anxiety and stress and angry and hates life and is bitter, then that's unfair to them. So I didn't know what I was going to do, but I did develop some strategies that were really effective. So I'm going to get into it. And this also, my disclaimer, is not a replacement for any medical advice or therapy or anything that you're doing. So, but I'll just share some tips and maybe it'll be helpful for you as well. So let's get into it. Okay, so number one thing that really was a game changer for me in the area of stress is taking adaptogens. Now, if you've seen me on social media or my previous videos, I get a little bit more into adaptogens, but if this is your first time, I'll just simplify it for you. Adaptogens are herbs that have been around for a long time, and they literally help the body adapt to stress at a hormonal level. So when I discovered this, I started taking things like rhodiola, ashwagandha. Those were like the main ones, but the one specifically that I found to be the most effective was for stress specifically was the ashwagandha and the rhodiola. Now, stress, you guys have heard of cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone. We all need cortisol. We all need stress hormones to be active during the day. But what happens is most people are in such a state of high stress, especially right now with everything going on, that their hormones are out of whack. and the cortisol levels are so high, and it affects the thyroid, affects the body's metabolism, and affects the body's ability to burn fat even. So a lot of women I talk to, they're nurses, got tons of nurses. I used to be a nurse. I used to work in a very intensive care unit, so I understand that. Your parents, you're working, you're doing all that stuff. Those things cause lots and lots of stress and lots and lots of cortisol levels. Or I should say cortisol levels to be higher. And when that happens, it actually affects your body's ability to burn off the fat. So a lot of you that are super stressed out, I hear this all the time, you're having a harder time burning off that fat, or you're just like, I can't burn off fat like I used to be able to. Now, it could be other reasons as well, but I can tell you that stress is not helping with your weight loss journey at all, or your immune system or anything like that. So adaptogens are perfect for just really helping the body balance out the stress hormones. And the cool thing is, that's why they're called adaptogens. Like, they literally help the body at a hormonal level adapt to that stress. And that's why, what I noticed when I started taking them is my energy levels went up also, and my stress levels went down. But there's no such thing as magic pills too, okay guys? It's not just about adaptogens. You have to incorporate it into some other strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you. But that's one tool that definitely helps with the process. And so talk to your doctor about it if you're on any medications, you don't want any interactions or anything like that. But at a hormonal level, at a stress hormonal level, even a holy basil, you might have heard of Tulsi, is also a really good one, very calming one for stress as well. So I'll link the information for you below. You can check it out for yourself. There's tons of research on this. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go to PubMed and look up different adaptogens for stress, and you'll be able to see that as well. So my favorite, ashwagandha, take it twice a day. I also take things like rhodiola. The rhodiola is also in the Miyadora drops. I just put it in my coffee, my tea, my water, and I go. I have that once or twice a day, depends. You can switch up adaptogens, see what ones you like the best, works for you. But yeah, I just found them to be super, super helpful with energy and stress specifically. So, and I love it because they're natural, they've been around forever, and there's so much research to back it up. So it's amazing. Okay, next thing, simplify your life. I know that sounds so basic, but I cannot even emphasize how effective that is for dealing with stress. And I feel like I've had to become like the queen of simplifying things because I just have so many things to juggle all the time, every day, all day. And the main reason why we feel overwhelmed is because we have so many things floating around in our head. We have so many responsibilities, so many demands on us, so many things we're thinking about, so many things we want to do but don't get done, and then we feel bad about it, and then it's just like this vicious cycle because then we feel like we're missing it, and it's just not good. So stop. You're not going to be able to do everything all the time, okay? Like, we all have these endless lists of things to do. So if you can even just at the beginning of the day write like maybe 3 things that you would love to get done. If you get it done, great. If you don't, that's okay. Or whatever it is. That's why even like with working out, keep it simple. If you like have some complicated thing that you need to try to stick to, or with meals, you have some complicated like meal recipe, you're not gonna stick to it. Like, this is for, I'm talking to women right now that are, and guys too, if the guys are watching, that are super, super busy. You're taking care of your family, you're working, you're at home, like you're doing all this stuff. If you complicate your life, you're not gonna stick to it. And the goal is to be consistent and to enjoy the process so you're not stressed out. Okay, so no matter what it is that you have going on in your life, just ask yourself, how can I make this simple? How can I simplify this? Do I even need to be doing this right now? Or is this like not even relevant to the direction I'm going in my life right now, right? So really take a look at your life and the different areas of life and just think of different ways that you can simplify things. So, and you're gonna notice the more things you start simplifying, the more things you start cutting out, that you can just release it, just get rid of it. You don't need to do that. You're gonna find that you're gonna be more consistent at the things that you wanna do and things that actually matter to you. And that's gonna really boost those happy hormones, those fulfilling hormones, those energetic feelings, and decrease the stress and decrease the overwhelming and anxious feelings, okay? But the first step is just recognizing, hey, I have way too many things going on right now, and I'm just going to not be guilty, but I'm gonna give up some of the things that are not serving me, my family right now, in the direction that I'm going in life. So I encourage you to just look at different things and just ask yourself how you can simplify it so you can follow through with it and so you can actually be consistent with it. Okay, so the next thing that was a big game changer for me, and I still do this to this day, every single day, and that's journaling. Now, I know you've probably heard this before, and you're like, yeah, Natasha, journaling, okay, whatever. Let me tell you why this is so effective. The reason why we get so stressed out is because of the thoughts that's going on in our mind. So every thought that you have changes how you're feeling. Okay. And if you don't believe me, just right now, just think of something that you're stressed out about. You just have to start thinking about it, and you're going to start feeling that anxiety come on. Versus think about like the funnest moment you've had this year and how much fun that was. Or like a really loving moment or something that just makes you feel so good. It changes how you feel, right? So every thought that goes through your mind changes how you feel in that moment. And we all right now are going through life, going through our day, just reacting to thoughts that are constantly going through our mind. And it's just habit. It's just like on autopilot. You're not even aware that you're having so many negative thoughts, or maybe you are aware, but you just feel like you're out of control, like there's nothing you can do about it. And you can do something about it. That's the interesting thing. And the reason why I took that so seriously is because my stress and anxiety was so intense that I'm like, if I don't get a handle on this, I don't even know how I'm going to be functioning. And it was Tony Robbins actually that really fueled that for me of like, you can actually change your thoughts. You can work on changing the habit of your thoughts every single day. And, so a thought might come into your mind, but you don't have to accept it. You can choose a different thought. And it's kind of like a muscle that you got to work out and retrain, right? So one way of doing that effectively is journaling every single day. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. Just to start in the morning, we often wake up and you're just starting to react. You react to emails, you're checking social media, maybe your kids need you right away, you get up late and you're running around and you're just like stressing, right? And then that just carries on throughout the day. So to switch that up, you want to prime your day. You want to take control of the day. So I started to protect that time first thing in the morning before my kids got up. And I at the beginning it's not that easy, but I forced myself to do it because what I noticed is eventually it really was starting to change my day and really change how I was feeling. So I would get up in the morning and, before an hour before my kids wake up, make myself a yummy cup of coffee, black coffee, because I fast in the morning, put my adaptogens in there, go into a nice cozy section of my house, get out my journal. I do meditate and prayer and stuff like that as well. But journaling, what it does is it changes your focus, it changes your energy in that moment, and it causes you to focus on things that you want. And I always say this to people, whatever you focus on is going to grow in your life, okay? So that works for good or bad. So if you're constantly thinking about, and even if you're journaling about all the awful things that are happening, that's not going to serve you. But if you start journaling and thinking about things that you're thankful for, or dreams that you have, new goals that you have, things that you're excited about, almost like you're like a little kid again, you're gonna notice your feelings, your emotions are gonna start changing, and you're gonna notice that's gonna start carrying on through your day the more you do it, because it's literally retraining and like developing a new habit of emotions. And this is something only you can do. And there's no medication in the world that's gonna cause you to do this. This is something that you actually have to take action in doing. But the more enjoyable you make that ritual of journaling, the more fun you can have with it, the more consistent you're going to be with it. And when you're consistent with it, even if you're doing it for 20 minutes a day, you're going to start noticing your life is going to change. I promise you that. So in the morning, I like to journal about kind of like my future self, how I see myself. So once again, a year and a half ago when I was, my husband's passed away and I'm like barely functioning throughout the day, I'm like, this is not who I am. This is not who I want to be. So I would journal about the energetic, fun mom that I wanted to be, and like the fun time I wanted to have with my kids, and just other areas of my life that I really wanted. And so I just started journaling about, just start dreaming, just having fun with it. You just go with the flow. There's no like magic formula for this. This is just like you taking time to concentrate on new thoughts that are going to change how you're feeling, and practicing that every single day. And you're going to notice anxiety and stress levels start to go down, and the happy hormones start to go up, and the happy thoughts and the happy feelings start to go up. And this is also proven with research too, guys. It increases things like your dopamine levels, which is like your happy hormone. So the other way I journal every single day is I do gratitude journaling. Once again, there's research on this as well, because most people know that, oh yeah, you should be thankful, blah, blah, blah. No, when you're so stressed out or you're dealing with depression right now and you just like kind of just feel numb to life, you're just kind of going through the motions, you have to interrupt those patterns of thought. That's the only way it's going to change. And so I remember some days at the beginning, I don't need to do this anymore. This is how far I've come. But I remember there were some days where I'd feel so overwhelmed in the moment. I would have to stop what I'm doing, go and like rest and like just like start listing off things that I'm thankful for, like even the smallest thing. And then I would notice that would change my emotions in the moment, and then I could carry on with the day. And sometimes at the beginning I had to do that a lot actually. Now I only do it maybe because I've changed my thought pattern. My predominant state is thankfulness. So I'm constantly walking around being like thankful for like absolutely everything. And that's why I'm such a happy person. Like it doesn't even matter what's going on. I'm so thankful for everything. But I've trained my emotions to be that way. It doesn't just happen. But at night, what I do every single night is I have a little gratitude journal. I've been doing this for a year and a half. And I will write down anything that happened in the day. Like I call it like magic moments or, just things that you're thankful for. And at the beginning it was really hard because you're tired at the end of the night, and especially if you're a busy mom, you just want to go to bed and like nobody's talking to me, I don't want to do anything, or you want to watch Netflix or whatever. Netflix is, it's okay to turn off the brain, but journaling, doing gratitude journaling at the end of the night actually will change your emotions. It'll actually change your energy, and you'll notice that your days are going to change, your nights are going to change, because you're retraining your mindset, you're retraining your emotions to be in a state of thankfulness. And then eventually that becomes like your dominant state, which is very different than being in a place of stress and overwhelmment and anxiety. So I strongly encourage you to get a fun, cute little journal, do whatever you need to do, and just take a few minutes every single day and just write down any little thing that you're thankful for. And you're going to notice your list is going to start growing too. That's the really cool thing, because whatever you focus on grows. Okay, next thing is have fun. I think you girls, if you've been watching on social media, I talk about having fun all the time. And let me tell you why this is so important. I never realized this until after my husband passed away. And I wish that I would have known this before, but I'm so grateful that I get to share this with you now, because it's so powerful. And I used to live such a serious life before. Everything was so serious all the time. And like, look where that got me. It didn't get me anywhere. Being serious and anxious and stressed out all the time, it's not good for your immune system. It's just not good for your overall quality of life. But when you can have more fun in your life is just more enjoyable. And you could say, well, I can't have fun because, this person is sick in my life, or we have all these financial stresses right now, or my marriage is on the rocks right now, or whatever it is. There's probably, or maybe you lost somebody recently. I understand. I really, really do. But the opposite feeling of stress and anxiety is joy and peace and fun, right? So if you can start, you might have to actually retrain yourself to have fun in your life. A lot of adults especially, we're so serious all the time because we're constantly thinking about all the things that we're responsible for. And you wonder why you're miserable, right? But since I made that conscious choice, I'm gonna have more fun in my life. Every single day, like every single morning when I'm doing my journaling, even though I have that long list of things that I need to do, long list of responsibilities that I know I'm not gonna get all of them done today, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have fun doing this. Or I'm determined to have fun today. I'm gonna do something that's fun. Or with my kids who are, instead of them used to a mom that's always yelling and screaming at them, it's like, I'm gonna try to have one moment where I can just goof around with them and they can just have fun with mom, even if it's just for a couple minutes. And what you'll notice is that the more you're conscious of this and the more you start doing it every single day, the more you're going to start actually having fun in your life. And the cool thing is that people are going to notice. People are going to be like, hey, I like your energy. I like being around you. You're fun, right? And it's not by accident. It's not by accident that I'm like this. This was a conscious choice I made a year and a half ago, and you guys are just seeing the result of it now. So every single day I try to incorporate fun, and I just enjoy my life in that respect. The other thing is with exercise. A lot of you want to exercise, but you hate it. And when you can incorporate fun into your exercise, you're more likely to stick to it. So any new habit that you want to develop, whether it's journaling in the morning or journaling in the evening, or exercising, or spending more time with your spouse, or spending more time with your kids, or whatever it is, business, even your work, even. If you can somehow incorporate fun with it, what's going to happen is you're going to start associating at a subconscious level lots of happy feelings with that. And naturally, we tend to go towards things that give us pleasure. We tend to stay away from things that are painful, right? And a lot of people are going through a lot of things right now, because I talk to you and I understand. I really do, because I went through that trauma with my husband. And so I was so desperate to not feel those anxious, stressed out feelings. So I'm like, I have to move into the opposite direction of that, which is fun. And it's just baby steps, right? So yeah, so I started incorporating more fun into my life, and now I have so much fun in my life all the time. Like, even if I have stuff going on, I still have lots of responsibilities, but I'm 35 years old now, and I'm having more fun in my life than I've ever had in my life, ever. And it's because of that conscious decision just to have fun. And it didn't start off that way. This is, like I said, this is a process. It was retraining my habits, retraining my emotions to have more fun. But then you attract more people who want to come into your life and hang out with you and do fun stuff with you. So it's a win-win situation. Which leads me to my last tip, which is super, super helpful for stress, is exercise. Now, I know you already know exercise is super important, but at a hormonal level, you guys always hear me talking about hormones, because hormones affect your metabolism, they affect how you're feeling, they affect the food that you're craving, everything. It affects everything about you. So that's why I talk about hormones so much. But exercise is one of the fastest ways to change up your hormones, to decrease the stress hormones and to increase the happy hormones, the serotonins and the dopamines that just give you that, those good feelings. Now, if you've heard me on social media, I don't talk about doing a certain exercise regime, because for most moms, grandmas, moms, we don't have time to be doing like 2 hours of some strict workout regime. That's awesome for some people that can do it, but for us, when we got things to do, we don't have time for that, right? So I'm like, okay, keep it simple, right? Keep it fun, so you'll actually stick to it, you'll actually enjoy it. And then you're going to start getting the benefits of it. Your hormones are going to change. You're going to start feeling better. You're going to have more energy. If you're lacking energy, it's going to help with your energy. And obviously, you're going to get in more shape. It's better for your immune system. It's good for your bone density. It's good for your muscles and get stronger. And the more fun you can have with it, the more consistent you're going to be. And it's just like this positive snowball effect, because then you're going to want to do it more. You're going to want to switch it up. But there was a point, I remember right after my husband passed away, I'm like, I have to exercise every single day so I can be sane. And a lot of times it was just like going for a walk. Then I started going to the gym. I had never gone to the gym really, because I was always so busy taking care of my husband. So I started doing that, and I made it really enjoyable for myself, and so I stuck with it. So exercise, ladies, whoever's watching this, take time for yourself to do these things. It's really about just building these new habits in your life and taking time for yourself and not feeling guilty about it. Who cares if your house is a mess or your kitchen is a mess? Take that time. If you haven't worked out that day, or you haven't journaled that day, or whatever it is that you need to do to take that break, go do that, because that's what's going to actually decrease the stress. There's no one pill that's going to ever bring you out of depression or ever take away anxiety. It might help. Those are all tools, but it's a series of tools that work together that's going to help you really improve your overall feelings and well-being. So hopefully that was helpful. Please continue to send me your questions and your comments, your progress. I love hearing from you, and I hear from you ladies all the time, and I'm getting lots and lots of just testimonials of really busy women, single moms with 5-6 kids, grandmas that are just, they're incorporating some of these strategies and they're starting to feel better. So I really, really hope you did that. Be patient with yourself, okay? It's not going to happen overnight. It's a process. But the more enjoyable you make it and the more simple you make it, the more likely you're going to stay consistent with it, the more likely you're going to see the change. And that's with weight, that's with stress, and that's with energy. So part 3, I'm going to do a part 3 video on energy. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment and follow me on social media, and I'll put links there below for more information for you guys. I love you so much, and I'm so excited for you to just really create a new life for yourself, just like I have. So I love you guys. Bye.